Welcome back. I'm JL Thomas, and this is an Uber boss guide in Hero Siege for Death's Breach. Stay tuned in just a moment after we overview some of our inventory and equipped items. We'll begin the encounter. We have some basic relics here, upgraded a couple of times, some a few times, a little bit more than others. We're under leveled and we're under equipped for most of our items here too. We have some level 52 items. We have under-socketed item here with 2 more slots we need to fulfill. A level 57 chest piece. And we have some charms here. We're going to pick up some missile defense for some of the death rattles and projectiles in the game. A little extra HP, some hit recovery so we don't get stunned by too many death rattles all at once. We have some damage being returned to attacker, a little bit of attack rating. Close to 48% on return damage. Chance for some deadly blow and life stolen per hit. Some additional residual missile defense. And some +5 to attributes and resistances with increased movement speed. Let's begin our encounter. Just before we begin, I think it's a good idea we take a look at some of our skills and attribute points. Our hero level tree, this is really anything that you can benefit from for an attribute, for a stat increase. Try to get your mystic nodes activated. We are under level and under equipped as we demonstrated, and we're going to show you the layout of our attributes and as well as our skill points on our skill tree, how they're laid out. And the resistance that we're looking for is cold resistance, and this is capped at 75% for Hell 1 mode difficulty. We do have some missile defense as we spoke about earlier, and this is going to help us with our physical defense reductions or any magic defense reduction that we can get. When we get hit by a sight, it could count as melee damage, so our defenses could help us in these situations to reduce that damage we take from close quarters attacks from, say, the sight. Death rattles, we're going to benefit from the defense versus missiles. And for our skill tree, we're looking at some basic skills here. We're not going to get too much in range with shuriken throw. We're going to try to get, more or less close quarters combat for some of these attacks with blade barrier. We have quick slash and we have some other abilities that we chose not to go with for right now. But we did pick up on smoke bomb, warrior spirit, Bushido, and living by the sword. We do have the blade barrier we spoke about earlier and the fan of knives as well as the omni slash still equipped. We have for honor, burst of speed, and wave the warrior activated, with empire slash being our main DPS and shadow step for our stun ability for crowd control. We can choose to change up our attribute points here. This is a good time to stop and to look at anything you may or may not need, if that be intelligence or anything that you could do without. Then you can change this up a little bit. But we're gonna go here. Intelligence is not really benefiting us right now so much with foreign intelligence. We can go somewhere else. We're going to show you don't need a perfect talent tree. You don't need a perfect build to do this. You don't need the best items per slot. So we're just going to go with a little bit less than optimal build here, just for the demonstration purposes of the encounter. And this encounter, we're going to be looking for soul altars that are going to spawn around the arena. And the Reaper is going to be in the sentry, the very middle of this encounter the whole time. And the Reaper is going to send out a death sight as well as death rattles, which will be skulls that go out in different directions. And it can spawn on our location as well and emanate a death rattle from that location. We need to be aware, we need to be agile. Speed will help, movement speed does help, but it isn't necessary as long as you have good awareness. In this encounter, we're going to need to destroy those soul altars that are lit by the glow flames in order to make the Reaper vulnerable for damage again. So we're going to be looking for these soul altars all around the arena when they spawn to get the damage reduction off of the Reaper, and that way he's exposed and vulnerable to our attacks once more. Let's begin the encounter.
Who disturbs my eternal rest?
This will be the first volley of death rattles. And we don't want to get hit by the death rattles too much because it debuffs us. It stuns us and keeps us in place. We don't want to be stationary too long. We just want to move around and keep good awareness of our space. Here comes in the scythe. And the scythe's going to sweep side to side depending on where we're standing. It's going to approach us as we make our way to the soul pillars. We're just going to want to try to sidestep this side and avoid as many of these death rattles as possible. Sometimes it's better to get hit by a singular death rattle than it is a scythe. And we're almost through this encounter. We need to be careful here at the end, as the death rattles do increase and intensify with the scythe sweeping across the room more frequently. And this should be our last volley of the soul pillars. And we're able to complete the encounter. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. If you found this tutorial guide walkthrough to Death Breach's Uber boss fight resourceful, please leave us a comment or maybe even a suggestion. Consider liking or subscribing to the channel. Till next time, everybody, hope to see you into another video or maybe even in Hero Siege.